Hello, everyone. Welcome to the MovieJar podcast, the podcast where we movie and you jar. I'm your host, Alex, and the animator slash guy, and I spent today making a fucking PowerPoint and a script that I
Woo.
have to do for Monday. Everyone, please wish me the best of luck. If I don't get this, I think I'll cry. Kaya?
Uh, what's up, Wasteland? Final episode, has been released, so go check that out. Uh, I'm going to Sydney tomorrow for
Yippee!
for one night. Um, yeah, Cameron, cat.
Hi. Yeah, I have a cat now. Um, I'm a dad now. Um, he is 9 weeks old, and I've done nothing this past week other than move house, and everything hurts. So I can't wait to keep going tomorrow and then go back to work with children.
Children disgusting.
Anyways, yeah, hi, Chris.
I have several cost-avoidable sprains that I have gained this week.
How did you do that, Christopher?
Uh, Being in pain, ignoring it for long enough, and then working.
Huh. Yeah, this really sounds like an
Perfect.
Alcoholics Anonymous meeting.
Yeah, it really does.
Don't tempt me.
I did drink like 6 beers over the last 2 days.
Yeah, fucking, Cyclone Alfred.
No, that was
Wait,
the week
hold
before.
on. You drank 6 beers over the last 2 days?
It hasn't
For
even
the
been
previous
Cyclone
2 days.
Alfred anymore.
Yeah, I know. I've lost the justification. I don't care.
I just want to.
Yeah.
Alright,
I'm finally
God.
not sick. Yay.
Why the fuck did you post the?
I'm in
Okay, Alex, why did you post that? Where's the version of that with Broly from Dragon Ball Z caked up? I
Okay,
need that one.
anyway, Alex, what
Anyway,
was the movie for
speaking-
this episode?
Speaking of Dragon Ball, the movie for this week was the 1978 Superman film.
A book
Uh,
bottles of a story. Sorry.
I picked this film because I love Superman very deeply as a character. As I've gotten older, I've found that Superman is possibly one of the greatest comic book characters, if not one of the greatest characters in all fiction. And this film is pretty much one of the only films which has been able to capture the essence of Superman into its entirety, which is saying a lot because he's a character that a lot of people misunderstand. He's a character that a lot of people immediately shove away as boring or as someone who doesn't have any depth, and they are blind to the real depth that he has, and that's the depth of optimism. That's the depth of truth, justice, and a better tomorrow. He is everything we should strive to be, and more. And this film means a lot to me. It is basically the foundation on which the superhero movie genre, which I guess you could call it a genre, was born. Superhero is not a genre, but the superhero movie is. This movie has been cited by Kevin Feige and a variety of other directors as basically a must watch if you want to make a movie about a superhero, though I feel like they missed a lot of the soul that's in this film. Particularly considering that when they were making this film, they went to such great lengths to make sure that people could, for once again, believe in the power of Superman and believe in everything that he offers. And this movie did make me cry multiple times.
Of course, when the moment we start recording, people start lighting fireworks outside my house. Anyways,
What the fuck?
You
sending
know
the
what?
milk.
Since you started talking, what did you think of the film, Cameron?
Um, I hadn't seen this film prior to prior to when it came up, but I had been really looking forward to it ever since I saw it on the list, and it was really interesting to go back to that that era of superheroes and see how it was put towards a television format, um, more movie format, because I'd gone back and watched I'd seen old Batman episodes before, but never anything from Superman. So actually going and watching the Superman content from that era was it took a lot more in terms of practical effects, and I really liked deconstructing that for this movie. So
Hmm.
I'm like my initial rating, I'm gonna give it a solid like 8 out of 10, I'd say. To
What
me,
about
it wasn't like a perfect film, but I really enjoyed it.
what about you, Kyle?
Um, yeah, yeah. So I had also never seen it. I liked it. I think um like it's very impressive for its time in terms of like yeah what Cameron said with like the practical effects and stuff. I just think me personally I didn't connect with it as much as I could have. I guess I don't know. I would
Mm.
probably give it like a 7 or an 8. Yeah, I liked it.
Fair. What about you, Chris?
I think this is a very good movie. I enjoyed it. I give it a 9 out of 10.
What did you enjoy about it?
I like the old effects. They're dumb, they're hokey, and the sound design is dated, but that adds to the charm. Additionally, the plot, whilst the characters, interactions seem very stilted, with a lot of like, I don't know
Hmm?
how you say it. Hmm?
Okay.
I find the dialogue stilted a bit. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm too used to the smoother dialogue. Um, yeah, it was just a good movie.
I do sort of agree a bit with the dialogue. A lot of it is quite awkward at times, but I think it's just because
Yeah.
it's a product of its time. We're more used to different dialogue. Because
Mm.
it's sort of a thing I've noticed with like a lot of movies that I've watched that are like 50 years old. Oh my god, this
Oh,
movie is
some
almost
of it can be
this movie is
really
almost
weird.
50 years old.
Yep.
Oh my
Wait,
god.
no, hold on.
Yeah, the 70s
Do
was
the
50
math.
years. Oh my god.
When did this come out again?
78.
1978.
It's 47 years
Okay,
old.
okay, fuck. I thought it was 1968. Okay,
68.
yeah, no, I was like, huh? No, good. Okay, I still did watch the right one though. Good. I would have gotten very scared there for a moment. Um, Jesus. Oh, oh, nearly 50 years. Fucking hell.
Hey man, you're
Um,
not the one who's 50 years old.
yeah, but I'm 21 and I don't like that. My
Hey man,
youth is
just don't.
escaping me and I have severe back pain.
Yeah, so do I.
uh,
I I disagree a bit on the dialogue part. I guess I wouldn't use the word stilted, but I can understand it being different and it being that it being a product of its time when it comes to dialogue. It is very comic booky. I also must admit, I am quite fond of Clark Kent. I'm quite
Oh,
fond of
really?
that clumsy little bastard.
Just a little
Out of
guy.
I like
in yeah,
yeah.
sorry. Okay.
Out of like I loved it when fucking Perry White or Mr. White was asking all
Oh,
those
Mr.
questions
White.
about who Superman was, and then he's going around the room asking different reporters different questions, and he asks Superman, "Why does he wear that cape?" And then Clark goes to put his finger up, and then Perry walks away, and he just goes, "Hmm." I love how he's perpetually one step away from tripping over his own foot. There
He's a
is.
he's just a dumbass, and I think that's the best Clark Kent.
He's so clumsy.
Like I think a really good modern modern depiction of him is My Adventures with Superman.
Hmm.
He's a fucking idiot sometimes.
He can be. And I like how silly he is because fucking it's so much better than when people try to make Superman into an alien when in actuality Superman is a human. He just so happens to also be an alien.
Mm.
Like this movie captures the core of Superman's character, particularly with the fact that it spends a decent bit of its opening on Krypton, which I absolutely adore the production design for. Like Krypton in this movie looks so distinct and different, and the scene where it fucking explodes, um, that was pretty epic. I'm not gonna lie. But the core of Superman's character is ultimately the story of being an immigrant. The two writers who wrote Superman way back when, Joe Shuster and fuck who is and Jerry Siegel, I think it was Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel. They were Jewish immigrants from way back during the early parts of Nazi Germany. When they created Superman, he was the champion of the oppressed. They wanted him to be everything they wanted to see in the world. He fought fucking landlords and corrupt cops and racists in his early issues and was one of the first superheroes to have an outwardly, anti-racist stance. Granted, in the Silver Age, his comics became a little bit weirder. Not going to talk about Pink Kryptonite, but but I don't know.
Funniest shit imaginable.
Funny, yeah, it's the Rock that turns you gay. Uh,
That's
he's got such
baller.
a yeah. It's a pink version of Kryptonite, which is like makes him fall in love with Jimmy Olsen when he should be falling in love with Batman.
No.
Like Clark Kent says swell. Clark Kent doesn't have a mum and a dad. He has a ma and a pa. Well, okay. 40 minutes into this movie, he doesn't have a pa anymore, but
Ooh. Ooh.
yeah, all those powers, he couldn't stop a heart attack. I don't know. I wanna ask all of you, what did you think of Superman as a character? Start with you, Chris. You went last. I'm starting with you now.
What are we starting?
Oh my god. What did you think
Bro
of
is not
Superman?
listening.
Wake up! Wake up!
What did you
Uh,
what did you think of Superman as a character?
uh, an idealistic perspective on very complex issues.
And your opinion on him?
I liked him. I liked him. I didn't like. I. I don't know. I enjoyed his character. I can't really find a fault in it. I can't really find a specific thing that I want to say about him. Um, yeah.
Okay, fair, fair. Kaya, what did you think of Superman as a character? It's an interesting litmus test for people who enjoy superheroes. Is what do they think of Superman?
What do you mean by that?
Well, okay. Well, here's the thing with Superman. He has super strength. He can fly. He has laser beams. He breathes cold air. He has X-ray vision. He has super speed. He can go anywhere. Functionally, he doesn't really fit the trope of, he doesn't really fit the shonen anime aspect of trying to do conflict resolution because functionally Superman stories that focus only on his physicality um are quite boring. He's a character which I think, as Grant Morrison said, um he's meant to be this idealistic thing of trying to find the most morally right thing in a situation. Superman has like stories about his in-laws coming to visit him, but it's just got the facade of a giant squid from another dimension attacking. It's a little bit complicated, but some people don't see that and they just say Superman's a boring character because he has no flaws, when he does have flaws. But I just wanted to know what you guys thought of Superman after watching this film. So, you can be honest, that's fine.
Well,
I
well,
really
I
don't
mean,
have much of a perspective. I took it at face value when Superman was introduced in most of his interactions. My faults are more on the movie's fucking sound capture and some of the dialogue. Um,
Yeah.
Superman as a, I don't know. Superman as a character, I had a point to this before.
Do you want to think on it for a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I'll pass the stick along to like Cameron or Kyle, whoever wants to talk first.
Hello. Um, I'm gonna say I think this was probably one of the best Superman representations I've seen as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I really liked this one, mainly because of his just the the dumb, like, him being stupid transferred also to him be like when he is going from Clark Kent to Superman. Like, you can tell that it's still him, like, same person. And I think that's something that from the Superman media that I've read and like consumed, right? That is a really annoying problem that I'm constantly seeing, where it's like they're basically entirely different characters, right? I liked this one because there's a lot more of an emotional thought process behind his actions in the movie. Um, or and something that you'd see, Clark Kent actually doing, and not just this idea of Superman. I also think that the Superman, this Christopher Reeves um, Superman has also just affected a lot of other Superman media going forward from this time. Now that I've actually gone back and seen it, I'm picking up why it's affected it all this time, because I constantly was hearing that, and then yeah, I can see why it's influenced it.
Fair. That's a fair take. Kaya, what did you think on Superman?
um, okay, I'm not the biggest fan of the like overwhelming optimism sort of like as a character trope, just
Mm-hmm.
to
I
my
know.
personal taste. But like, I don't know, I think sometimes that's all the story needs. I think sometimes that's all that a story requires is just a character who just represents good and is just good. I feel like, and like, that doesn't mean that they can't have flaws, but like, there's like, you can't have a 100% perfect character by just being like, I don't, okay, I'm gonna use a random example here. But like,
That's
okay,
okay.
as much as like I like Demon Slayer, Tanjiro was not a perfect character and is not a perfect representation of that blinding optimism because his
That's
flaws
fair.
don't really like he doesn't really have any.
Mm,
Whereas
Yeah,
like
no, I will agree with that.
Superman, he's a little ditzy at
his
times, he's
beliefs.
a little clumsy at times, and it's
He's a
kind of
fucking
he's a
moron
fucking
sometimes.
idiot. But like, it's like I think that's what makes a character more interesting. I don't know.
I feel as though his beliefs are a product of at that time as well in this film, but the beliefs espoused in this, such as like societal change and such, as well as perspectives on people like Lex when he's trying to blow up the entirety of like the fucking
I'm
West
gonna blow up California.
to increase housing prices. Yeah, seriously, like that. I don't think he gets really punished. I don't. Wait, does he go to prison?
He
I
goes to
forget.
prison. Superman carries him and fucking Otis.
So,
It's
He
fucking Otis and
carries them
him to
into the
prison.
jail.
yeah,
And he goes, "Here you go, water." And he goes, "Thanks, Superman." It's
like, okay, his beliefs about the the due process when it comes to people with massive power doing really, really, really shit things. I mean, that guy should have had like everything taken from him by the state, but I guess no, because we can't show that as well as due process.
Wait,
I mean,
which
that's
guy?
boring.
Superman or Lex
Lex,
Luthor?
Lex, like everything should have been taken from him, and like, you know, because like Superman is the icon of justice, and also like when you're a kid, that stuff sets like your boundaries on what you're meant to do in situations. That sounds really dumb and boring, but like enough of media back in the day basically said nothing about what to do with people that do really shit things in positions of power to people without power. And
But
like, sorry,
yeah,
you
no, go ahead. Finish your point.
basically, I feel as though they should have shown a more proactive approach from Superman in terms of dealing with those problems.
But what's more proactive than punching him in the jaw, taking him straight to jail, realigning the tectonic plates, and rebuilding California?
Showing that all of Lex's shit is getting taken away from him because he cannot be trusted with that power.
Brother,
Not
his
good.
hair got taken away from him at the end.
No, I actually have an argument for this. Not rebuilding California. Fuck California. Hate that place.
I mean, I think the story pretty successfully tells you that Lex's shit has been taken away by by him literally being carried into jail. It implies that Superman went back to his place, grabbed them, and then wabbing waboom, and then carefully carried him and fucking Otis. Fucking
When they walked off screen together, that it turns out Lex Luthor actually had the pink kryptonite in his pocket, and then they.
Okay, all right, okay, buddy. Hey.
I mean, I don't know. I think that was pretty proactive. Also, plus
Throwing him in jail.
A lot of Superman media, at least in the origins, was like, at least in like the origin stuff, was like him kicking the shit out of corrupt landlords and racists.
Yeah, why couldn't we have that in the film?
He did. We did have that in the film. He did do that. Do you want him to kill Lex Luthor?
No, I just want to see his property being burned.
Oh my god.
Bro,
You're all a bunch of fucking
bro
nihilists.
will never be satisfied.
Yeah.
You're all a bunch of fucking nihilists. uh... You and I'm in a nitpicking competition, and my opponent is Chris. I mean, I don't know. I think if anything, this film was the actors commented in a part of a documentary I watched. The actors commented that they weren't really sure if the movie was going to do well, since the idea of a guy who just does good um was kind of it was kind of hard to for audiences to get, particularly in a post Watergate world. Like after Vietnam, after Watergate, after everything that happened in the 70s, it was hard for audiences to get behind.
After the
They,
gay rallies, it's kind of
After the police riot.
no.
yeah, it was sort of hard for people to. They thought it'd be hard for people to connect with a character who very simply just tells you to do good because it's good. But I don't know. I think they handled it the best way they could. Keep in mind also in this time there was severe restrictions on what they could show, and the fact that this whole film isn't about aliens, though he is an alien. It doesn't have fucking Satan clawing up from hell to come, I don't know, kill Winona Ryder or something.
Damn it.
It's about Lex Luthor committing a real estate scam by blowing up California.
My favorite.
Stupidest sentence I've ever heard.
Like, like it's not about like the evil foreign superhero coming to like well, fucking what's an Avengers plot? It isn't about some Russian guy with whips for arms beating the shit out of Iron Man. It's about some guy taking advantage of everybody because Lex Luthor believes solely that the only moral good in the world is the bottom line. It's the dollar bill. That's what Lex Luthor believes in. Lex Luthor is an Ayn Rand-esque character. In all of his stories, Lex Luthor does not believe that man is made for good. He only believes that man is made for greed. Superman represents the very idea that we created greed to get out of the responsibility of doing good. And this film is just an alien coming down to stop a fucking land grab.
Actually, I have a question to pose to you. Do you think that Superman is a Randian protagonist?
No.
How so?
Well,
Can I ask what that
because
means?
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
Ayn Rand was a philosopher who was really stupid and an idiot.
Absolute bastard.
If you think Ayn Rand is okay, so capitalism.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You know the idiots who say they're anarcho-capitalists who want to have like complete unrestrained markets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not
friend.
entirely, but sure.
Yeah, she's part of the reason for that. She believed that if I'm getting this right, because I think most of her philosophy is stupid, she believed that humanity of itself was so truly selfish and that we had to be led by strong men who were very convicted, and the government was bad, but actually the police are really cool and we need more police. And she believed that any sort of welfare was, a sin against God, even though she got her degree because the Soviet Union paid for it. Um,
I see.
I
Yeah.
see.
she's basically, um,
Her school of thought was literally named Objectivism because she believed it was so true, so unbelievably real that no one should question it.
She
She
didn't
also
believe.
hated black people and Jewish people and
Well,
and
look, if you
anyone
support
any Romani people, which she called something very different.
Mm.
Um,
Oh,
anyone that
oh.
wasn't white. Yeah.
I
Basically,
mean, if
all of her
you,
protagonists, I believe, are like straight white men that like, and I know that sounds really cringy, but they all like lose or something to another guy who's really popularist and stuff, but they held to their convictions for long enough and suffered for long enough and like were racist enough that they won in the end and were like winning. That's like the entire plot of Fountainhead, which is like her most famous book, I believe. Atlas Shrugged, actually, but that's basically the plot of Fountainhead. I have not read Atlas
The
Shrugged.
entire game of BioShock was built off a criticism of Ayn Rand.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, like hold on, what's the so one of the main NPCs you talk to in BioShock is a guy named Atlas. The
Yes, I'm
guy
I'm well aware.
instead of the guy who made this underwater city of laissez-faire capitalism, instead of Ayn Rand, it's Andrew Ryan.
Hmm.
It, it's the entire game of Bioshock is basically saying if Ayn Rand got what she want, it would be hell. But I wouldn't necessarily call Superman an Ayn Rand character. I'd call Lex Luthor that because in every modern day comic Lex Luthor's in, he quotes Ayn Rand. But also because Ayn Rand's like a modern day conservatism, believing that the individual, I think as she said, the individual should exist only for the sake of himself and not sacrificing others, not sacrificing anything of himself to others. But Superman is just kind of that. Like Superman lives in service to others. I think the quote from the movie is, "You will not lead them, but you will guide them." This made me cry. There are people of great purpose. They just don't know it yet. With your guiding hand, they'll make that choice themselves. Like Superman exists purely because he believes we can be better. He loves Earth. Clark Kent loves Earth. And by being Superman, Clark Kent's then able to show us everything we can be. I mean, there's this brilliant comic book that everyone should read, like literally everyone, called Superman, All Star Superman. Um, it's a one and done, you can get it pretty cheap in like a compact version. And it's the story. It's funny. It's a story that everyone says this should be your first Superman story, and it's about Superman dying.
Oh,
Um, at the start of the story, Superman saves a bunch of scientists from falling into the sun. But while he's there, he absorbs so much solar radiation he gets cancer, essentially. Um, and over the course of this 12-issue series, it explores what the man of tomorrow and what the perfect being would do in his final days. And for the most part, it's just helping people and just making sure that people are okay. I'm gonna pull up the panel that fucking everyone pulls up, but it's fair. It's a panel of one of the last issues as Superman is going around the globe taking kids who have cancer on massive field trips, so that way they can see the world, before they die. Um, where he is going around fixing trains, and we hear in the background that a kid wasn't able to see her psychiatrist, and that she's suffering from depression, and the world is simply getting so hard. And in the face of everything, when Superman hears the father calling on the phone to tell her not to jump, he immediately races to the ledge and just embraces her and tells her that she's much stronger than she thinks and that it'll all be okay. I don't know, man. That fucking makes me cry every time I look at it. to look into the never ending to know that to look into the never ending abyss that is having clinical depression and to know that the world is incredibly terrible, but to imagine that if Superman was here, he'd still believe in us. I don't know, man. That's something. That's sometimes that's the only thing that gets me through the day. Particularly when I was off my antidepressants and I was, getting back on them, and my life was a bit shit. All I would think in certain situations was just simply, what would Superman do? And it helped because with Superman, he's simple, he's optimistic, he just believes to do good.
Hmm.
So I wouldn't call him a Randian character, no. A Randian character would look at the person on this cliff and be like, "I'd jump, idiot."
They push them off themselves.
Yeah, a Randian Superman character is Homelander, which brings me on to a good topic. Have any of you seen
Oh
clips
no,
of The Boys?
yes, I have seen the exact scene that you're thinking of.
Have any of you seen of any clips of The Boys or seen what I like to call the bad Superman satire?
I have
I've
watched The
seen
Boys. Yes.
clips.
Not seen the bad Superman's satire. But
Is
I think
this
I've
where Homelander laser eyes some random kid?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Homelander is kind of the epitome of just like, wow, someone's a nihilist. Which is fair. Fucking I wouldn't want to be stuck inside of Garth Ennis's head. I would not.
Honestly, yeah. No, I get it.
Actually, no, it's really funny. The guy who wrote Homelander, is this guy named Garth Ennis. He's Irish, okay? And we're talking he was Irish in the 80s, Yeah, so he's
Wait, north or
really south. But he's really, really bitter. I've read one of his seminal works, which is Preacher, which is a big commentary on religion. The man has some complicated thoughts, but funnily enough, he really does like Superman. Like, Garth Ennis hates superheroes except for Superman, but then he wrote Homelander because 9/11 happened or something. 9/11 had this great effect on comic book writers where it broke a lot of their brains. And I can't believe.
Yeah, man, it was fucking 9/11. What did you
It's
expect?
just Superman.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
Garth Ennis, they've hit the Pentagon. What?
It also broke Frank Miller's brain, and he wrote one of the greatest Dark Knight novels, and then he wrote shit. He's never recovered. He's never recovered at all.
The
But I
effects
think,
of 9/11 on the comics industry.
well, I think it had an effect on how we viewed superheroes. I think, or at least how the American comic book industry viewed superheroes, which unfortunately then went everywhere because that's kind of the main comic book industry. Because 9/11, opinions aside, was a tragedy that happened that no one stopped. Like, there were meant to be things in the way. We were meant to have ways that would stop. America existed as a point where things like this weren't meant to happen, and yet it did. For the first time in a while, America was attacked significantly, and it's kind of hard to maintain optimism after that happens. Not to get this podcast demonetized, but
we're getting money.
but I do kind of,
You guys holding out on me?
I do kind of think that
Yeah,
I'll
I've
skip
been
over.
I've been keeping all the money.
Oh, you bitch.
Oh,
I do think that
JK.
I do think that characters like Homelander are kind of a net bad for superheroes. Like, as funny as he is, and even though the show's attempted to take him in a different direction, I do kind of think that characters like Homelander or Injustice Superman lack imagination.
What if Superman was evil, guys? That's it.
I forgot when looking up Google Images, I forgot that I have to put the boys, not just boys. Uh, whoopsies. But like, I know that the shows are tempted to be like, oh yeah, this Homeland is actually an allegory for Trump and American fascism. But they've also just kind of gone back on it and gone, yeah, this is what Superman would be like in the real world. And I feel like they misunderstand the point of Superman. Is that Superman, you know, Superman. I don't know, man. I'm ranting. I'm sorry.
This
I
is
just
like
think that
the point
having
of this episode.
look, man, I just think that having the whole thing of like, yeah, if anyone who has that sort of unrestricted power would immediately start lasering babies and eating women, it's like, brother, would you do that? Like, a question I like to ask people whenever they
I
say,
know
like,
I would.
well, a question I like to ask people whenever they say, "Oh yeah, if I had unrestricted power, if anyone had unrestricted powers, they'd be like Homelander." I'd go, if laws weren't in place, would you just go down the street and kill a homeless person?
Wait, sorry, what was
Like,
the
would
question?
you? Pun?
What was the question?
If there was no law stopping it, would you go down the street and kill a homeless person right now? Would you?
Probably not.
Yeah. Why's that?
Um, why would I do that?
Exactly. People
Let's
who
say,
make bad
hypothetically, I put you in a meat grinder.
like if there was no law stopping it, Chris, would you become, and I want you to answer this honestly, would you go to Queen Street Mall and start chopping people up if there was no law stopping it?
No.
You hesitated
And why is
there.
that? Why is that, Chris?
Well, I don't think I'd enjoy it.
It's an answer.
That doesn't sound like a good thing.
Exactly. It's not a good thing. People are like, without God, we wouldn't have morals. No. People don't
What?
usually enjoy killing someone.
Well, some
It's
people
why.
maybe.
Yeah, but they're like a.
Sociopath self-report.
Some people I'd enjoy.
Yeah, but why is that? And without naming names, so we don't get, completely taken down.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about, but it takes a lot for us to get to the point where we might consider killing someone, let alone actually doing it. And rarely is it out of, like, direct malice. Usually it's out of pent up rage. But the idea that everyone is so selfish that if we didn't have, hierarchies in the market, God, that we'd all just immediately start killing each other is kind of, a bit stupid. It's a learned thing to numb your empathy is a learned thing. Yeah, you should just title this episode Alex goes on a tirade about Superman and everyone listens intently.
Okay,
Yeah.
what if I just started going on a killing rampage though?
Would you though?
Your argument's gone.
If you started doing that, you are one person out of a few billion.
No, my reason is out of spite against you.
Then you're
Um,
not doing it because there's no law. You're doing it to prove me wrong, which doesn't necessarily prove me wrong. It just proves that you wanted to prove me wrong. Doesn't prove you right.
Well, you've been got there.
man, can you just fucking laugh at one of my jokes?
No.
Be funny
Damn
and
it.
then I'll laugh.
Damn.
That's messed up, man.
Well, shit. Anyone got anything profound they want to say, or should we?
I don't know.
I'd like to talk on the the practical effects for a little bit,
Okay,
if that's a possibility.
that's fine. Go ahead.
For real, how the fuck they do the time warp shit?
How they do that?
How'd they do that?
No, I
How did
think
they do the tectonic plates?
no, that actually happened.
Yeah, no, this is all
Superman
real.
was there, man. Guys, it's real.
So are you going to talk about these effects, or...
Yeah, so go ahead.
You said that you want to talk about them, but you're not talking about them. What's going on here?
There's a cockroach in the sleep.
Oh, there's a cockroach.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, I cut this part out of the video. It's alright. Uh,
Oh, fuck, I have to remember to do that.
uh, honestly, I'm finding it difficult to talk about it because it's just there was so much shit that they could have pulled. Knowing how they did stuff back then, like looking at it, usually with practical effects, I'm able to deduce what's going on. This movie, I just fucking couldn't. I don't know how they pulled it off, but it is. It just was not working in my brain.
You just physically can't figure it out.
Like, yeah, no. Usually I can. Usually I can figure out what sort of effects they've combined and break it apart in my head like a puzzle. But no, with this, I just fucking couldn't. It was weird.
The illusion of movement was created by zooming in on Reeve whilst making the front projected image appear to recede. The scenes where Superman interacts with other people or objects while on flight, Reeve and actors were put in a variety of rigging equipment and careful lighting and photography. Oh, I loved him catching Lois. Oh my god, I loved him and Lois. Oh my god. Oh, literally me and Jaden. Oh my god. Sorry.
Um, Thanks for reading that off of IMDb, Alex. But no, yeah, no, I don't know. It was very difficult to actually deconstruct it, but that's to me, I was just very impressed by that. Because what was the budget for this film?
Hold on. The budget, going to our favorite website, which should totally sponsor us, IMDb.
I don't think we're getting an IMDb sponsor.
Please.
I wish.
Its budget was $55 million at the time.
Adjust that for inflation. Jamie, pull that shit up. Built in 1978. Holy fuck!
What?
$267 million.
Yikers.
Good lord.
Marvel spends double that on Ant-Man and it still doesn't look as good. Let's fucking go.
And Ant-Man was fucking ass.
Or at least the third movie was.
No, all of it is. I'm saying it.
No, we're not going back here. I will not have my glorious Ant-Man slandered.
No, you're not. You're not having this win.
Well, do you have any interesting? Did you look into the effects at all?
No, I wanted to see if you guys would pull anything out of your ass from IMDb, which you did. So,
Look, man, as far as I know, I think they used a lot of miniatures. I think this film was just expertly made.
holy shit, hair is actually put into a budget. Crazy.
I
Never
loved
thought-
the cinematography in this film, by the way. Like that was
I never
something I
thought I'd
noted.
see that.
That was something that I was really surprised about. Was the different shots of this is the same guy who made the Goonies, by the way. But like the shots on the Daily Planet and when he's flying and all across Metropolis, particularly out in Smallville, Kansas. Um, like all of it was so beautiful. It felt like it was a painting. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
I don't know. Everything felt painterly. It had a very. It's one of the few films you can actually call cinema.
Kill me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Disgusting.
That's my...
Get
Hey,
off
there's
the
a new Superman,
podcast.
there's a new Superman movie coming out this year. Um,
Yeah, I know. It's
Really?
cool.
You haven't talked about it at all.
You hadn't mentioned that
You-
at all,
we-
Alex.
Not once.
let's just go to fucking cookies.
Alex, do you even like Superman?
Do you like Superman?
No.
Damn.
Why not? Why do you not like Superman? Go on.
Contrarianism.
Chris, your
Yeah.
entire life is contrarianism.
Yeah.
I'm not feeding into this. My I give this film a 10 out of 10. It's perfect. I cried literally twice. When Pa Kent died, I was sobbing. I had to pause the movie. Um, and when Superman got his powers, I sobbed. Uh, when Jor-El was talking to Clark Kent and was like, "Oh, you gotta be good, Clark. You gotta be fucking good, mate. You gotta be fucking good, mate. Krypton blew up, mate. We're gone. We're dead, mate. You gotta be good. You gotta be good. You gotta be fucking
Okay,
good."
let's just move on to
Just
cookies.
Australians and Superman media.
I'm gonna give Clark Robinette Biden um a fucking chocolate chip cookie. A chunky chocolate chip cookie that is made by a mother in a farmhouse in rural Kansas. A grandmother in a
It
farmhouse
will not have
in
winkles
rural
in it.
Kansas. And I want to give that to him with some milk. Bought from a grocery store. Because they farm corn, not cows. What about you, Cameron?
Circle back to me. I actually don't know. I fucking suck at the cookies part, man.
Kaya?
Um, who's the guy in charge of the newspaper?
Perry White?
Yeah, I think we need to introduce him to Anzac biscuits.
Who is the Superman? Where is it? Why is he with the tights? Does he have a
What
girlfriend? Does he have parents?
What is
What?
his favorite cookie?
Who did he vote for? Listen here, Clark. You need to get out there. Get Lois introducing the Superman guy. Make some friends. Drink some coffee. Grow some hair on your chest. You're a real stand-up guy, Clark, but you just can't do anything. Sorry. Chris?
I'm gonna give it a raisin cookie.
Who? Who are you giving a raisin cookie?
I'm gonna give Lex Luthor a raisin cookie. Because he's such a comical villain. And we
Well, he
can't
is from
give
comic
villains
books.
chocolate chip, but we can surely give them a raisin.
Yeah, Chris, of course he's a comical villain. He's from comics.
Oh, shut up. Fucking shut up.
You, whack.
Cameron, what's your cookie?
It. Okay, I could say something written. No, I'm not gonna do that.
Pansy.
No, no, because if I made that joke, I would have really upset Alex.
No, go on,
No, no,
go
no,
on,
No,
go on.
no,
no.
No,
no,
go
'cause
on, no, go on, go on.
I morally cannot make that joke.
Ah,
Um,
see? I told you. Morals. Morals are built into us. You just proved my point from earlier, dickhead. Anyway, go ahead.
I think I'd probably give. Ooh, I think I might give a cookie to Lois.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna give her. Oh fuck! I've had them. I've had them once in my life, and I've never forgotten the taste of it. Um, it was. It was something. It was one from New York, and now I'm never gonna find this. It was basically like my dad brought it over from America, and it was specially made from a cafe, and I forget the name of it. It's irritating the shit out of me. Um, if I can spin the wheel, I'll find it. Hold on.
Oh my god, he's giving up already.
No. Give me more time.
I can't spin the wheel. Give it. Just.
Spin the damn wheel.
Just pick a
Sorry,
cookie.
Why did you?
Oh, oh, oh. Oh, there it is.
Go on. What's the cookie,
Why
Cameron?
is drive
What's the
so
cookie?
large in the wheel?
Wait, what? Oh yeah, what the fuck?
Why is the text so large?
I think that
Drive.
and that's my theory. My theory is that this has actually been rigged to the whole time. Um, that's what it was. Oh my god, it was a mini haha.
A mini
my God.
haha?
Yes, no, from Whisk and Pin. I'll send this here. Basically, they're basically fucking Smarties cookies, but not. And they use a different one that don't taste like Smarties, and it's so good. It's like this strange combination of chocolate and gumballs, but like I don't know, just with how often people in that office were getting coffee. When I had that thing, it made me feel like I had some form of crack in my system. So I think with how overworked those people in that office are, they need it.
Real.
Fair enough.
Alrighty.
Okay, Chris, what do you want?
Hang on, let me calculate the chance on Conan.
Chris, do you want Conan still, or have you changed your mind?
Chris?
I think. Do you want Conan still, or have you changed your mind?
Alex, I don't think I've given up on Conan in about 1 billion years. What makes you think I'm giving up on it now? You can pry Conan from my cold, dead hands, and even then, I will shoot you.
Jesus. Alright.
Well,
Let me
Christopher,
know.
you've got a 3.4% chance to get Conan. How are you feeling on those odds?
Cameron, kindly. Shut the fuck up.
No.
Spin the wheel, Alex.
No, we're not.
Kaya, what would you like? What are you in the mood for?
I am very busy the next week, so I want something that I don't have to think about.
Let's go, Watchmen. Come on.
Give me Now You See Me Too.
Oh fuck. Oh god. No. I wanna stick with DC. Give me the Batman.
No,
You know what, I
that's a
second that.
long
I want the
movie and I have
Batman.
to think
I
about
want the
it.
Batman.
Too bad.
I want the Batman.
Give me Robert Pattinson.
Oh, give me that. Well, since the fucking sequel isn't coming out anytime soon. Anyway.
Hey Alex, when was that announced?
Spin the wheel. He hasn't even finished the script for it.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Now you see me too.
How far away was Conan on that, actually?
I think
It was almost
I,
My Hero Academia.
I think I.
Conan was decently far, Chris. Not gonna lie.
Okay. God, I'd rather shoot myself than watch this movie again.
Okay,
but
Now
alright.
You See Me Too isn't that bad.
It's got Daniel Rad.
I'm not the biggest fan of Daniel Radcliffe. I'll be honest.
Okay, shush.
But
Thank you for
funny
listening in on
magic
this episode
hijinks.
of. Thank you for listening to this episode of the MovieJar podcast, the podcast where we jar a new movie.
Wait, what? That's not what you said at the beginning.
Join us next week as we are next on Now You See No See No Me No See.
What?
Neon orange. You give me
Bye-bye.
orange, neon orange now.
What?
Bye bye everyone. Join us next week as Chris is denied Conan the Barbarian once more and slowly seeps further into dementia.